Okay, so this is the how I got the job story. If I link this correctly, this is coming off the how everybody used to pick on me because I was old story when I was trying to look for a job. So we get to the end of this whole process where nobody's taking me seriously and it looks like I'm never going to get a job. It's crappy bloody jobs and I still couldn't get an interview or anything. So I'm pretty wound up about the whole thing. And if you've learned anything about me, I tend to get a little annoyed and it doesn't tend to make me take long to get me really annoyed. So now I'm feeling like, and because of the size of my ego, people don't like me, people don't want me. Oh my God, that tends to affect me a little bit. And I always thought that I was relatively bulletproof and I could turn my hand to pretty much anything. And so to have the world say to me, I'm sorry, Terry, could you just quietly go and stand over there? You're not really up to it anymore. That didn't go down well. So here we go. So we get to the point where I've about had enough. I've just put both hands up in the air and I said, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I actually managed to fluke a job working at a little Tats Lotto agency near Crown Casino. And there's a whole other video. I promise I will make the video that tells you the story about working in this Tats Lotto agency. I lasted about 6 weeks and basically in the end I told the boss where he could go, but there's a lot more to this story and I promise I will tell you that one. So I've come off that, eventually I fight my way through it, I eventually get this job and it turns out to be an effing nightmare. Had its good moments, but it was basically an effing nightmare. I've got like no ego left. I'm red raw. I'm feeling very close to worthless. We still need the money, and I just don't feel like I'm carrying my weight. It took me a long time to get up, the emotional energy and everything else to get up to this point, and then the world came along and gave me a good clap behind the ear, which is probably something that I deserve on a regular basis, but even so, I'm very, very low. One of the little companies that were trying to get me interviews for jobs, I think it was the Salvation Army or something like that. Anyway, I'd pretty much given up this point, but I get this phone call. It says, look, we got this guy, he's interested in employing someone for a year. Would you be interested in the interview? And I thought, well, no, but that's what I thought. And I said, yeah, all right, what do I care? So I am in exactly the right frame of mind, in my humble opinion, for turning up to a job interview. I'm looking for a fight. I've about had enough. I'm sick of people jerking me around and treating me like crap and everything. So I thought to myself, all right, the job was in Smith Street, which if you're in Melbourne, you'll know what I'm talking about. Awesome place. Absolutely eclectic culture, full of drunks and drug addicts and people and hustlers and the job that I ended up getting was right next door to a pawn shop, and some of the dodgiest characters you've ever seen in your life used to turn up and pawn stuff. The cops were constantly raiding the place. This was an awesome place, but I didn't really click about all that at the time. All I knew was that somebody wanted to interview me about a job, and I thought just to keep faith with my missus, I thought, well, I'll do this, but I'll just get it out of the way, right? So I'm really cheesed off and I'm really pumped up, and I thought to myself, now I'll drive all the way there because I don't live anywhere near that. It's sort of, all the way into town. So I thought, I'll drive there, and if there isn't an effing parking space anywhere near this shop, I'm just going to keep going. I'm not even going to stop. So I drive, then there's a parking space right out front of the shop. Okay, all right. So I thought, plan B. Now, I'll just sit here for 5 or 10 minutes because I've given myself plenty of time to get here. I thought, I'm not going to turn up right on time. I'm going to wander into this place about 5 or 10 minutes late. And if he gives me crap about it, I'll tell him to get fucked and I'll leave, right? So I sit in the car. All right, I better go in. So I go in. I thought, now the first negative thing this bloke says to me, I'm gone, right? I walk in the door. There's people in the shop. It's busy and everything. He looks up. He sees me and he goes, oh, you're Spider. Oh, you've come about the job, have you? Oh, that's great. He said, I won't be a moment. I just got to deal with these people, then I'll speak to you, and it'll be fine. Is that okay? Gives me some respect. Doesn't even know who I am, but he's really all over me. I thought, damn, there goes plan B. And I thought, well, fine. He's all very happy to see me and everything, but when we actually get down to talking about this job, he's going to say something or cheese me off or so whatever, and I'll be able to tell him to get fucked and I'll be able to go home and have all of this nightmare over with. Long story short, this guy is really nice to me, right? He eventually gets to me, he's talking to me and everything. And he wants to know whether I can stand behind the counter and sell Tats Lotto tickets. Well, I'd just done 6 weeks of this thing, so even though it didn't really interest me all that much, I kind of knew how the machines work and all the rest of it. And he asked me to serve a customer. So I'm in a I don't give a fuck mood, so I go, yeah, fine, no problem at all. So I go behind the counter, I start chatting up these people, and I'm having a great old time because I don't work there, I don't care anyway. And they're really good and they're sparking off what I'm saying and we're having a great old time and I sell them a couple of tickets and we go. Anyway, the guy goes, when can you start? And I go, oh, come on. I wanted you to be really horrible and leave me alone so I could go home and be miserable and sit around and tell everybody how badly done by I am and you offer me a job. So I got the job. Turned out this guy wanted to cruise around the Greek islands for 6 weeks. So basically he needed someone to watch the shop for 6 weeks, not 12 months. Remember me telling you, guy wants a job, got to be able to commit for 12 months? He really only needed me for 6 weeks. So there was like 6 weeks of preparation before he goes, and then there's the 6 weeks of him cruising around the Greek islands. And then when he gets back, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. Because he really only needed me for 12 weeks, 6 weeks worth of preparation and 6 weeks worth of cruising, and then he'd really rather I just went away because it just wasn't enough work for the two of us to be there. I was only working a couple of days a week, but basically the guy lied to me. Shock horror! An employer didn't tell an employee the truth and didn't treat him with respect. Anyway, long story short, I kind of knew what was going on and it was weird, but I needed the job and I had the money and I'd gone through all the emotional energy to get there, so I thought, stuff it. But the guy came back from holidays and he was just treating me like crap and he was going out of his way to make me walk away. Trouble was, he wasn't that good at giving me crap and I didn't care. I was getting paid and I liked where I was and I loved the environment of the place and everything. Anyway, long story short, I actually ended up in hospital after about 7 or 8 months with a really crooked tummy, and I rang in and said, my missus rang in and said, look, he's really sick, you might be able to come in today. My mum was dying at the time, really weird situation, and this guy goes, yeah, look, don't worry about it, just tell him not to bother coming in anymore. Hey, what? I'm lying in hospital, this guy telling me I don't have a job anymore. I love this. You gotta love this world. I mean, what a wonderful place, and what amazingly beautiful people employers are. Ah, God. Honey, wanna go outside? Honey bunny, need to go outside? Honey, need to go outside? Come on. Good girl. Come on, time to go to the toilet. Come on. Hurry up, I haven't got all fucking day.